SuperTalk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that celebrates every single day the people who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. We have a great show today, and we'll get to that in just a second. But before we go any further, let me bring my friend and partner in crime, the producer of Coast Vue, Kyle Curley, into the conversation, and just say good morning. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm okay. I'm running a little bit behind putting my camera together. I'll be right there.
That's okay. No problem at all, man. No problem at all. Hey, look, Kenny referred to you as the backbone of the SuperTalk Gulf Coast operation. And that conversation I had with him earlier this week, it was really amazing to me that you guys have worked together for 26 years. I mean, you just don't hear about that in the radio business anymore. 26 years. It's been an incredible journey, hasn't it?
It really has. And it is kind of crazy that we've been together that long. You know, I never thought I'd still be here when I first got into it, you know, back in 1994 when I started working for the group. I think I was actually part-time before Kenny even got here.
You can go ahead and finish your camera view, and I'll share this next item here, and then we'll get you on. There you are. You know, you do weather, you do all these different things, but, you know, speaking of weather, it's really good that we have air conditioning here in coastal Mississippi, isn't it?
Yes. You know, I really feel for the people that don't. You keep hearing people in northern part of the country, and it still boggles me to this day that there's people that don't have it. It is, you know, as hot as it's been in the past, even 20 years, it still boggles.
Well, you're right, man. The Pacific Northwest, the temperatures have been record breakers. It's unbelievable. They have this heat dome that is over that part of the country. They're beginning to get just a little bit of relief from it now, but essentially what that has done is trap this hot air underneath that high pressure. Seattle reached 108 degrees, I think. You know, Oregon hit 116 degrees. But hey, man, listen to this. There was as part of the census study, only 44% of the houses in Seattle have air conditioning. Think about that for a second. Only 44%. And by the way, Portland, 21% don't have ACs. That's I don't know how they've weathered this storm of hot weather. What do you think?
I don't know. That's a lot of large buckets of ice in front of a fan. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would be spending a lot of time in my car.
Yeah, I know that's the case. You know, and we should also mention, obviously, that there are some people in coastal Mississippi who can't afford air conditioning, and that's a real challenge for them this time of year as the humidity and the heat starts to really pick up. Hey, listen, one other thing I want to mention to you, we talked earlier this week about UBS and Synchrony have made announcements that their workers are going to be working remotely. We talk about that on the show all the time. This was a trend that was in place before the pandemic, but it's really picking up now. And as a result, you're going to see, employees that are going to be working from home, some of them 100% of the time. Some of them are going to be doing what they call a hybrid model, sometimes at work, sometime at home. But this is the way it's going to be. And it made me think about Coast Vue. I mean, and the role that you're playing, Kyle. You do so much from your house these days, but then you go into the office when you need to do that and have access to that equipment. But you're already in a hybrid mode, and you probably will be staying there for some time, won't you?
It looks to be that way for the near future. Yeah. Remote working, I think I was way ahead of the trend as far as remote working. I'd already had a good plan in place before the pandemic, and it was kind of funny. You know, being in broadcasting for so long, you look at different groups, especially Facebook, there's different groups. And as the pandemic started to kick in and everybody started getting kicked out of the office, you could see the trend of everybody going, hey, how do you do this from home? How do you do this? And I'm like, man, I've been doing this for years. So I would chime in when I had a chance, and, people took some good advice, and everybody started taking pictures of their new studios, and I would share pictures of mine that's nice and worn in and, has the game day in the middle of the weeds kind of look, and they've got all the pristine, no mess. And I'm like, no, that's not how it really is.
Well, it was part of the plan to do Coast Vue remotely when I signed up for this gig, but it just, the pandemic sort of pushed it forward, and it required me to have to come up to speed pretty rapidly with how the technology works and how to pull it all off. But you've done an amazing job of supporting me, and, the technology, everyone's had to learn how to use new technology, and they've gotten so good at it now. And I just don't think there'll be any turning back to where we were before. It's going to be some kind of a hybrid model from this point forward, don't you think?
Yeah, I really do. And especially a lot of times for this type of work, it is actually, it's more productive to kind of do it this way, really.
Yeah.
At least in my case, it is because, if I'm in the building, there's a lot of, hey, what is this? Hey, what's this password? And for me, specifically me, it's easier for me to do this remotely.
I know. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, and last thing, we'll talk more about this on a future show, but the NCAA Division I has recommended the association temporarily suspend the amateurism rule, which is really going to finally give athletes the opportunity to make money from their name and their image and their likeness. After all these years of making all this money off college athletes, finally, it looks like more college athletes are going to have the opportunity to make money. It's more than time to be able to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think their rules on eligible athletes were they were all one-sided. It's just like, any big corporation. A lot of those decisions are all one-sided, and they're all to benefit the bigger corporations to keep money in their pockets, and they didn't want to share it. And I think now we're starting to see voices get louder on the other side that actually has enough momentum and enough support behind them to equal the loudness of the previously big, large side. It's all about money, really.
It really is. So much money has been made. Anyway, thanks for visiting with me. We'll shift gears now and move over to Kendra Simpson, who works for the Mississippi Aquarium. She's the VP of Sales and Marketing there. And let me first just start by saying good morning, Kendra. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Look, I've stayed in very close contact with the aquarium since I started the show. If you look back at the people that I've had on this show, I've had so many incredible guests. Of course, Kurt Allen, you're a director. I've had Meredith Horn and Jeff Clark and many others. And then, every time I, have a mayor on that's anywhere near you, like, for example, of course, Billy Hughes or Fofo Gillich, with conversations with people like restaurateur Robert Stinson, and conversations with Michael Sunderman from his publishing company. Everyone is excited about the aquarium. So let's start with just generally how things going these days.
Things are going great. My office overlooks the ticketing entry, so I get to watch all the guests walk up each day. So we're seeing great numbers daily. Groups and field trips and homeschool summer camps are picking up, so we see the kids getting out more. Every day the last couple of weeks we've had some kind of school group or summer camp group come visit us from is local here in Gulfport or Jackson, Mississippi, Bogalusa, Louisiana. So we're seeing guests from the region. So just exactly what we want to see on a daily basis.
Kendra, it's been really amazing watching the aquarium. Let's go back a little bit. So the aquarium there was a bit of a delay in opening, and then we had tropical storms and hurricanes and pandemics and holy mackerel. I mean, the challenges were incredible, but the thing that came to mind every time I had someone from the aquarium on was the sense that I talk about on Coast Vue all the time, that coastal Mississippians are incredibly resilient.
Yes.
Well, the aquarium had to be resilient. It had to constantly keep bouncing back from all these different challenges. But there was a sense among every one of you guys and everyone I talked to in the community that once you guys could really begin to open up in the way that you wanted to open up to begin with, that people would start coming there in droves. And that has happened, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. So yeah, we had a rough start, but nothing that we couldn't overcome. So it started with kind of even numbers. September, August, September was really busy for us. And then we kind of leveled out. Of course, January, we had ice storms. We forgot about the ice storms, everything but asteroids, right? So once all of that kind of calmed down and we came into March, the spring breakers started coming and we saw record numbers. We saw our biggest weekend to date over spring break. And not the local spring break, the out-of-market spring breaks from North Mississippi and other areas. So, we are very good at changing and adapting to the situation or to the climate. We did that, and we just welcome numerous guests every day from all parts.
Kendra, have you guys, do you still have COVID protocols in place? Kind of give us an update about what the latest is there.
So with the mandatory mandate lifted, we held on to it for a little while, and now it's basically what you feel comfortable with. So we feel that vaccinations are at a good going at a good rate. We just had Singing River here Friday for free vaccinations. So we recommend the guests just do what is comfortable to them, and our employees too. We want our employees and our guests to feel safe. We remind them to wash their hands, which is a very important part of slowing the spread. Keep your distance between parties. If you're more comfortable with a mask, please wear one, but you're not required to.
That's well said, Kendra. I think you want to give a nod to those who still feel like they have to keep their family safe, but it has to be a personal decision, and reminding everyone of these incredibly important attributes that we've all learned. These habits that we all better learn from now on. It won't only help us with COVID, but it will help us with things like the flu and other things that get in the way.
And we also have, as you know, we have an indoor-outdoor campus, so 5.8 acres, and most of that is outside. So people do feel a little more comfortable visiting us.
Actually, I want to talk more about that here in just a second, because it's such a remarkable campus. And we'll start out with that, and then we'll talk about maybe some special events that are coming up, and just continue the conversation with Kendra when we come back after this break. We'll see you after this break.
Coast Vue on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by Jay Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think Jay Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to good things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
This is Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We're having a conversation with Kendra Simpson, who's the VP of Sales and Marketing for the Mississippi Aquarium. And before we went to the break, we talked about the need to be resilient, all these challenges that the aquarium faced as it worked so hard to get opened back up again, or opened up for the first time, I might add, not again, just in general. And then the pandemic hit and all the challenges related to that. But now as we come out of the pandemic, Kendra, one of the things, we'll come back to the campus in just a second, but one of the things that I think people in coastal Mississippi did a really good job doing, and I can't help but think of my conversations with Milton Segura as he talked in the very early stages of COVID about, 80% of the people who came to coastal Mississippi drove in their cars, and he anticipated that people were going to feel safer in their cars. So that, number one, we needed to have a plan that focused on the drive-in traffic. And secondly, that helped them understand that we got this, that we know how to create a safe environment for you so you and your family can be safe. All the casinos were on board. In fact, the casinos were sort of a worldwide best practice for the casino industry. But, the fact that we established that, I think it gave us a competitive advantage coming out of the pandemic, because we already had sort of, greased the skids, primed the pump, whatever you want to call it. And you guys were the beneficiary of coming out of the pandemic and people, all this pent up demand. This is sort of what you see, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. So, not only are we an aquarium, we have so many other things going on from our research programs, but we also have events on campus. So we have hosted events. If you want to get married at the aquarium or have a dinner here, then we're here to do those things. And so, of course, in August, it was very slow. We had no events, no hosted events. The phones are ringing off the hook now. So we are finally in a position where people are comfortable coming out and getting together again. And we eased them into that. We did a few small events along the way. We just did a rehearsal dinner for 205 people in our event space. And so people are ready to come back out, and we helped them with that. And, like I said earlier, what are you comfortable with? If you're comfortable wearing a mask, we want you to do that. But we do have it is a good thing we are indoor, outdoor. People are comfortable outdoors. So, but it's coming back, and I think it's going to come back quicker than we anticipated. Summer traffic is steady, but the fall is looking great for us as well.
Well, when the aquarium opened, SuperTalk Mississippi Media was there live, a gallo show, and I had the opportunity to do my show live from there as well. The day before we did our show, this was the first time I've actually been on the campus to walk around. And, as a former publisher of the Sun Herald, and after working so hard after Hurricane Katrina to help our communities rebuild, it was amazing to me actually to stand there overlooking Gulfport Harbor and out looking out over the water and thinking to myself, where else in the world actually can you stand and see this view with behind you this world-class facility in the Mississippi Aquarium? It is a unique position to be in. If you haven't been there, people need to go and check that out. And this sort of nice mix between indoor and outdoor that you pointed out before. But it is it's just coming out of the pandemic. It's kind of what the doctor ordered, isn't it?
I think so, and I think people, the more they visit, the more they realize that. And our campus is very unique. And so we are, not just downtown Gulfport, we are Mississippi's Aquarium, and the theme of our campus represents the waters that flow through Mississippi. So as you know, because you've been here before, The first thing you see are gators, native to Mississippi. There's a freshwater river that runs through the middle of the campus, to the dolphins that are native to our Mississippi Sound. And when you enter the main habitat, which is indoors, that represents the beyond. So everything starts with the river, with the Mississippi River, and it flows into the Gulf of Mexico and beyond, and that's what gives life to our state. Coastal Mississippi is, one of the biggest tourist areas. We're also, the biggest seafood producer. There's a lot going on here, and across the state, we want to, just make everybody proud of what we have here. And I do happen to have a great view of the harbor, and it's amazing to look out and see the revitalization of downtown Gulfport. I moved here 1 year before Katrina, and then saw the devastation that took place. And to see how we've come back, not just coastal Mississippi being resilient, but Mississippians as a whole coming back to visit, supporting us. Our tourism numbers did not drop like the rest of the country because of our resiliency. We're trending ahead. If you try to find a hotel room in coastal Mississippi right now for the weekend, you're probably not going to be able to get one.
Yeah, I've often said actually that if you look at how Mississippi, at one point coming out of when they restarted the economy after the shutdown, Mississippi was like number 3 in the nation. And then you look at what's the primary component of that recovery, it was tourism. Then you start to look at the primary component of the tourism across the state, and it was coastal Mississippi's position in that helped us get there. So some of the best recovery numbers in the world here in coastal Mississippi, and you're getting the benefit of that now. Hey, just one quick thing. When we were at that opening, one of the things that really made me proud was to see Fofo Gillage come over from Biloxi to be part of the opening. And I thought to myself, it sort of comes to your point. Of course, Phil Bryant, I had the opportunity to talk to the former governor of the state of Mississippi, who was really a big, passionate leader in the effort to create the Mississippi Aquarium, but it is Mississippi's aquarium. And to see Fofo Gillage and Mayor Billy Hughes working together for the good of something like this, it really gives you a warm feeling that this one coast thought is the right approach to take. So this, looking at coastal Mississippi as a region is the way to go. Hey, you've got some special events coming up. Why don't you tell me about that?
Absolutely. So this weekend, 4th of July weekend, we have Ales at the Sail, Star Spangled Banner. It's a craft beer festival, so your ticket gets you unlimited tastings to local craft breweries, bring out samples of their best beers. We also have a kid zone, so it is a kid-friendly event. We want you to bring your families out. We'll have bouncy houses at a kid zone set up so they can play. And then City of Gulfport has an amazing fireworks show that I believe starts at 8:30, so you'll be able to get prime viewing on our south lawn for the fireworks. And tickets are on sale on our website. Of course, you can visit msaquarium.org to purchase those. We also have eco tours that are running every Friday out of Ship Island excursions. So we charter the Pan American Clipper, which is an amazing boat. It's a smaller boat. And our research director, Dr. Holly Morocco, and her group of interns, research interns, kind of tell you about the life and the ecosystem of the Mississippi Sound, which is so vital to everything that we do down here. It's a great 90-minute tour. You can buy a combo ticket to the aquarium, or you can just go on the tour stand alone. But I recommend that everybody do this. We take for granted sometimes what's really out there. So we can always jump in a boat and go to the islands, but you never think about really what's in that water. And Holly gives a great overview of how our actions affect the life in those waters. Then we also have Mississippi Aquarium's Miss Aquarium pageant, Little Miss Aquarium pageant, which is kind of odd to have a beauty pageant at an aquarium. But I was approached about doing this, and I'm a fan of pageants because I think they build confidence in young women. This is a pageant for babies up until 18 years old. If you have the confidence to get on the stage, you'll have interview questions and do these things, then it's really a good confidence builder for these young women. You can register your daughter or loved one or yourself on our website. That is also a qualifier for the Miss Magnolia pageant. So Miss Mississippi won Miss USA this year. So we're encouraging all young girls across the state to come out and strive for excellence in this beauty pageant. It is a natural pageant. No false eyelashes, no fake teeth. It's not what you see on TLC. It's a natural pageant, and it just builds confidence in these young girls today. So that's a few of the things we have going on, and then you can always visit our website for a full listing. We always have something different, a little added value to the guest, and a little fun things for the community.
I love the collaboration with the Scrimetta family through the Ship Island tours. How's that going? Tell me a little bit more about that.
It's amazing. We did our first one 3 weeks ago, and then we had a good turnout. We got some great footage. We don't guarantee that you're going to see dolphins, but there's a good chance you're going to see dolphins on this cruise. Holly, our research director, is amazing. She's a Mississippi State grad, and she's done research literally all over the world. And she's just so knowledgeable of our Mississippi sound and the ecoculture that's out there. It's more than just getting on a boat and following dolphins. It's really learning about what's in those waters. We did get rained out for our second trip. We had one last week, and then we'll have one this Friday. So I encourage you to come and learn about the ecosystems.
Well, Kendra, we're out of time, but look, it has been a pleasure to catch up with you. We should have you back more often, and we will, for a matter of fact. You're the VP of Sales and Marketing for the Mississippi Aquarium. I am so thrilled to hear you guys are doing well, and hope that you continue to have a great summer. That, we're going to still have some rain here and there, but let's not have any tropical systems that impact the aquarium in a way that they can't continue to shine, because they're such an important attraction for coastal Mississippi. So thank you, Kendra, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
You bet. We'll see you after this break.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to SuperTalkMSGulfCoast.com.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at Jay Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every cell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out Jay Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on Super Talk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter. Has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on Super Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by Jay Allen Toyota, Gulf Coast Business Supply, and AGJ Systems and Networks on Super Talk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. I really enjoyed that conversation with Kendra. It is amazing what's happening at the Mississippi Aquarium these days. Things are really, really doing well there. If you haven't had an opportunity to go by and check it out, go see that incredible campus that we talk about. Hey, our next guest is the mayor-elect for the city of Pascagoula, Jay Willis. But before we go to him, I just want to share one thing with you. Something I talk about a lot on this show is about big tech and our data and what's happening around that. We have 5 companies, all of them big tech companies now that are part of the $1 trillion club. You may have seen in the news that data on 700 million LinkedIn users has been compromised, and hackers has been, we've learned about this from hacker forums. About 92% of the 756 million users on LinkedIn now has their phone numbers, physical addresses, geolocation data, and inferred salaries that are up there and being sold on the dark web. Just to show they had it, the hackers put data for 1 million records up there. And then so far checks of that data have confirmed that it is genuine and up to date. So here we are. We're in this technology world, and our data is not safe, unfortunately. It is not safe. We'll be talking more about that as we go forward. One other thing, the Case-Shiller Index says that home prices in America up 14.6%. Not a big surprise, actually, when you think about the price of lumber to build and the lack of building that was taking place during the pandemic. It's a supply-demand issue, but it's the highest increase in nearly 30 years. In addition to that, the good news about our economy is that the consumer confidence index has risen for the 6th consecutive month, which is the highest level it's been since before the pandemic. So that's really good news, and we see that here all along coastal Mississippi. So without any further ado, let's move over to my friend. Well, we're recording this. You need to know this. We're recording this on Wednesday. It's going to be playing on Thursday, so we get to say to Mayor-elect at the time of this conversation, but Mayor Jay Willis. Jay, how are you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Ricky. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Listen, as you and I talked about before we went on the program, you and I were both involved in the community in a bunch of different ways, the Chamber of Commerce and United Way and, all these different things. It's amazing. I think probably our paths crossed along the way, but more in a sequential way, as opposed to us being on these boards at the same time. But reading your incredible history, obviously you're a dentist. You've been a dentist for many years, and you look at whether it's in your church or whether it's in the community, you have always made community involvement, building a better community, a part of who you are, haven't you?
I have, Ricky, and that's just the way I was raised, and I give my parents a lot of credit for that, and we've tried to do the same thing with our daughters and now grandchildren, and making them understand that you have to give back, and me offering myself for mayor has nothing to do with politics, but everything to do with public service and just giving back to the community that I love so much.
It's interesting. So far, I'm going to be having conversations with all the new mayors in Jackson County. All the mayors are new. But I had yesterday I had a conversation with Kenny Holloway from Ocean Springs. He kind of said the same thing. It's interesting. He had a very good success in his business. Getting elected mayor is not a promotion in his life. It's not a promotion in your life. It's right. Literally going to be, you're not going to get paid enough for the count of hours you're going to put into this. And as a dentist, you know what an appropriate level of pay should be. But you're doing it because you have a passion and because you found your purpose. I had a similar conversation with the new mayor of Pascagoula. He didn't have to do this. Jimmy Rafferty had success in his life, and he decided to do this. A lot of mayors along coastal Mississippi, they fit that description. Fofo Gillich and Billy Hughes. We have a lot of servant mayors in these positions today, and I think that's going to make a big difference, don't you?
Well, I do. It makes a difference for the community. And if you really care, it shows, and people know.
Well, I should share with you the comment that our friend Paige Roberts, the CEO for the Jackson County Chamber, she said that you are a good guy, that you were Mr. Pascagoula High in high school, and you still are. What a great compliment.
Well, and as I mentioned, that was 50 years ago. It doesn't seem possible that I graduated in 1971, but we're planning our 50th reunion, and it's amazing how time flies.
Well, it's good to see you have so many fans. I had the opportunity to go visit with Paige last week. We walked around downtown to see I've talked about it many times on the show. Paige and I talk about the transformative nature of mixed use, where you can have commercial and residential sort of, together. We know that part of the new economy, something I talk about all the time, that in the new economy, those in the creative class would love, they want to, especially young people these days, want to live, work, and play in a similar area. To walk around downtown Pascagoula and see the emergence of these incredible investments in that city, the city is literally under transformation as we speak, isn't it?
It's truly amazing. It's probably been 30 years since we've had any significant investment in Pascagoula, and now it's happening all at once. And actually, the success can be attributed to the fact that everybody's working together and rowing in the same direction. We've got the city, the Pascagoula Redevelopment Authority, which is our urban renewal agency, Main Street Pascagoula, Page and the Chamber of Commerce, Jackson County Economic Development Foundation, George and Mary Martha over there, who are just wonderful. Our county is a big part of it, and even our local legislators on the state level are helping us out so much. And it's amazing to see all these different diverse groups working together and making a difference in downtown Pascagoula.
It's incredible, and it takes that. It takes a multifaceted, diverse group of people and leaders that are passionate, that are bound together by a vision of where the city can go. That's why the master planning is so important. You get everybody sort of working together toward that plan, then you can bring in private investment. You can find ways for public money to be involved in the process. Today we have BP and all kinds of other things that are swirling. The city's in a great mode to really find itself in a new place as we go forward. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when I first began considering running for mayor, I made the statement that I really believe we're on the cusp of some great things. And the more I learn, the more I know that that is absolutely the case. And it's not just downtown. We are doing amazing things in other parts of the city, just beginning to happen. And it's sort of a bleed over from the investments that we have seen to this point in downtown, that we're going to see new retail, we're going to see new restaurants all over town, not just in downtown. And it's going to hopefully change the image of Pascagoula from being an industrial town to more a great place to live and work and raise a family. I've raised my children here. I've lived here all my life, and so many of my friends have come back, and our children are living here now. And it's very encouraging to think of what this city could possibly be in 20 to 30 years.
You know, it's interesting, and I wonder what your thoughts are about this, but you go back and look at your path from where you came from, having the opportunity to be the mayor in the city you grew up in, to be a dentist that had been in business for many years, a small business owner, your time on the Merchants and Marine Bank Board, the work in the chamber, the work in the community foundation. If you think about it, all these things help you become a mayor that really understands why it's important to bring consensus, why it's important to have goals, why it's important to have a vision of where you're going. And your time as a small, you can sort of understand the numbers and how they work. And it's going to be interesting to see with all that experience and obviously your demeanor, which is terrific, how that plays forward as you work with all these incredible people that are trying to invest money in that city to build a better city. You have to be pretty excited about it.
Oh, I truly am, Ricky, and I believe that every experience in my life has built on the one before it. I mean, going back to when I was very young, and I believe that God opens the doors for us and guides us even when we're not looking for His guidance or in touch with Him, to prepare us for the future and for what's just around the corner. And I'm encouraged that I do have the ability and the possibility to make a difference in this city and working collaboratively with a great new council coming in, with everybody on the same page and all feeling a sense of dedication and commitment to Pascagoula.
I can't agree more. As it relates to your faith, I often say, when I find myself in a situation when I believe that I can make a difference, or that I'm observing someone else who may be able to make an extraordinary difference in the community, I often say divine intervention is real. I mean, it is very real, and it's up to us to take advantage of those moments and to make our mark, or to help other people who are going to make their mark. It's great to see that you're guided that way. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Mayor Jay Willis from the city of Pascagoula, and we'll talk about what's top on his mind as he enters into this new office. We'll see you after this.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever, with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Del Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera slips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. You know what? The thought that keeps coming to mind as I have this conversation with Mayor Jay Willis, the new mayor of the city of Pascagoula, is that we are so lucky indeed, to have so many servant leaders and mayoral positions here along coastal Mississippi. We are lucky indeed, and it will be very interesting to see how the next several years plays out. Hey, before we get to what was top of mind for you, Jay, as you enter into the office, you actually have spent some time selling dental practices and working in that space for some time now, and you've had an opportunity to travel all over Mississippi. What have you learned through that?
Ricky, the main thing I picked up is how similar all of our communities are. We all are struggling with the same issues, and it makes me realize that what's going on in Pascagoula is nothing unique, that everyone's dealing with it. You make the best of it and you move forward and solve the problems as best you can. But don't beat yourself up about what the improvements that need to be made wherever we are. It's just that way everywhere in Mississippi.
You know, it's a process. You never arrive. It's all about the journey. You do the best you can. There's always going to be people, especially in this day of social media, there's always going to be people who can poke negativity and make things that are not really issues, big issues, and so on. As long as you can keep your situation in perspective and understand what your goals and vision are, and you keep them firmly in your sights, you have a real opportunity to be successful. So as you enter this job, Jay, what's like number one on your list? What's the most prevailing thing on your mind?
I really want to instill my sense of optimism in as many people of Pascagoula as I possibly can, whether they have always been here, whether they are here for a short period of time, whether they work here and live somewhere else. I want the image and the vision and the legacy of Pascagoula to be what I see it as and what I imagine it as. I really am so passionate about encouraging our local people to support our small businesses and to spend their money in Pascagoula. So many people don't realize that even if you buy a tank of gas in Pascagoula, a chunk of that money you pay for the gas is coming back to support our town, and the small businesses are the backbone of our town. I really want this to continue to be a safe community, and I think our law enforcement is doing a very good job, but they need our support, and that's where we need to go. I'm thrilled that Ingalls is hiring 3,000 new workers, and looking forward to the possibility of most of those people living in Pascagoula and having the opportunity to know what this is all about.
Yeah, it's interesting. George Freeland and Mayor Margaret do a great job, a really good job when they're on the show of talking about it's not just Ingalls, it's not just Chevron, but it's all the ancillary businesses that build around that. And when you're talking about hiring 3,000 more people, there's work that's associated with that, and there's growth in other businesses associated with that. The economic, the sort of reverberating economic impact that comes from that size of a ramp up is really incredible, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing what this could mean for our city. And interestingly, the new Ingalls president, Kerry Wilkinson, who I visited with earlier in the week, was telling me that this is just the beginning, that 3,000 is the start, and Ingalls will continue hiring even more after that group is in place. A lot of good stuff happening. One of the things I'm excited about, Ricky, is the application that the city has ongoing to be named a World War II heritage city, something a lot of people haven't heard about. But in each state, there's going to be one city selected where the city was transformed and the culture totally changed by World War II. And we believe it's Pascagoula in Mississippi because of what happened with shipbuilding and the changes to our economy and to our population, going from 3,000 to 18,000 just in a matter of months. Good things happening with that designation.
What an incredible story, Jay. What an incredible story. That designation would be significant. And, anything that can bring incredible attention to the city, is a good thing. And that sounds like that would be incredible.
We're looking forward to it.
So let me ask you this. I asked Kenny Holloway the same kind of question, but when you walk through downtown Pascagoula today and you have all these memories about what you're looking at, and you have such a base of operation for your entire life as it relates to Pascagoula, what goes through your head when it hits you that you're now the mayor? I mean, just share those thoughts.
Well, that's really interesting. When I go back to think about the fact that I bought my first stereo at Bird's Music on the corner of Delmas and Magnolia Street when I was so very young, and where I am now and the opportunities I have is very humbling. I am honored and humbled to be facing the task of being the mayor. Well, listen, Mayor Jay Willis, it has been a pleasure to get to know you better. I wish you all the prayers and luck in the world to do well in that new endeavor. I know you're going to do well. You have a lot of support, and we're going to stay in touch, and we're going to be on your journey with you, and I look forward to that. Thanks so much, Ricky. It's been a pleasure. It has been indeed a pleasure. We'll see you soon. Have a great day. You as well. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.